What's up? Happy Friday. Welcome on into Let's Bet It. College football week 1, NFL week 1 next week. We got a lot to talk about. Lauren Javara, Jared Smith. I'm amped up. I've had 6 cups of coffee this morning. Not really. It's been like 3, but I just wanted to be over dramatic. How are you after that Penn State game last night?
Oh, so many mixed emotions, Miss Lauren Javara. Good morning, by the way. Good morning to our lovely audience.
Good morning.
3 cups of coffee. It's not even barely 10 a.m. out there. That's aggressive.
I know.
That's aggressive.
For some reason, my internal alarm woke me up at 6:30, and I'm like, I'm ready to go. We got college football week 1 this week. I'm so excited for tomorrow. Michigan plays at noon, and Georgia, where I'm living right now, plays at 3:30, and then Notre Dame plays Ohio State. It's going to be a good day. I'm so excited. But we have a lot to talk about today. College football week 1, Bettor Up. We have Premier Lacrosse League and then NFL with Sam Monson. So that's going to be exciting. But first of all, before we get into it all, let's talk about yesterday. Week 1, starting off on a freaking high because we had Pitt and West Virginia playing a matchup of former USC reject quarterbacks, and it actually ended up being a really good game. 2 fourth-quarter go-ahead pick sixes, a tipped pass return, 56 yards, sealed the 38-31 win. And then we had Penn State, Purdue, with 7 lead changes. It was wild, but Vegas knows best. What a way to kick off week 1. I hit my over on the Penn State-Purdue total easily. But 3.5, we just got screwed on that Purdue plus 3.5 the last couple minutes of the game. But you still have to be happy that your alma mater got the win in that one, right?
I'm thrilled for Sean Clifford, who played a very average game. I would say even maybe below average until that final drive. And so first with Pitt, West Virginia. Shame on whoever made us wait 11 years between backyard brawls. That's just absurd. That series deserves. And they ran out of beer in Pittsburgh, which is no bueno. When that's at Acrisure Stadium, I heard that they ran out of beer at halftime. Which hey, listen, those are 2 heavy swigging crowds there, the Mountaineers and the Panthers. So you better stock up on Budweiser when those 2 teams are playing.
Oh my God.
So that was fun. And great game. Listen, you nailed it. Vegas knows best. The 2 marquee games of the night both land on the hook. I mean, Vegas had those games.
Crazy.
And the Penn State game. The Penn State, actually both games. West Virginia opened 5.5, and then it moved. Everyone bet Pitt. It closed 7.5. So there was middle opportunities there. Purdue opened 4.5, moved down to 3, got bought back to 3.5. Somebody middled the Penn State Purdue game too. So that's where the early line movement could be fascinating. But I have one final comment on Penn State. That game is being dubbed the Puke 6 game. Did you see the dude after he returned a touchdown?
He left it all out on the field.
He left it all on the field. Literally. We know what he had for dinner before the game. Incredible games. College football's back, right? It's back. This Saturday is going to be awesome. Tonight's going to be awesome. The whole season. I'm so excited, but nice win for Penn State. Disappointing for our bet, but I didn't think that was a bad handicap. Manny Diaz's defense was all over the place. Penn State couldn't run the ball. The offensive line's a turnstile. They're going to struggle against really good offenses too. Aiden O'Connell was shredding them up last night.
Yeah. Yeah, he was. He was. And it's crazy. I truly thought that Purdue was going to get the win in that one.
Absolutely.
But Penn State was able to pull it out. They got it done on the road. Gutsy win. Good for you. Good for your Nittany Lions. Enjoy it because you're not going to get many more of those this season.
No, they're going to
Those
win the
wins.
games against the shit teams, but when they play Michigan and Ohio
But not
State,
the good ones. Yeah.
they're going to get rolled. If they would have played Ohio State last night, Aiden O'Connell was chilling back in that pocket, just hanging around, throwing darts all over the field. If that's C.J. Stroud and Jackson Smith and Jigba and Marvin Harrison Jr., Purdue's got like 2- and 3-star dudes at wide receiver. I mean, and listen, Penn State's got the talent, but it's the Manny Diaz scheme that just is very volatile. They run, they blitz, they get after the quarterback, and then all of a sudden they sit back in this soft zone and they get shredded. It's just, I don't like the scheme, but listen, it is what it is. Penn State is what they are. They're 1-0. I'll take it.
Yeah, let's do it. We got a lot more college football to talk about. I know you're not on the show tomorrow, Jared, so please give me your week 1 picks. I have one pick for tonight, but it's a play of the day, and it's a player prop. So I'm going to give you that. I'm not going to say any more. I'm not going to say any less because you got to wait till the end of the show for it.
Yeah.
But please give us your picks for tomorrow because you're going to be not on the show for most of the Saturdays this year. So we'll get a lot of your football picks, the college football picks heading into Saturday on Friday's show.
Yeah, I got some fun stuff brewing for the Saturdays this year. If you're following me on Twitter, you know what I'm talking about. Some new vibes, but Pickswise will be a big part of that show, by the way. So we'll be bringing the Pickswise fun onto Fox Sports Radio. But first, let's get into Saturday's card. I do have 3 bets. I have no bets tonight in college football. I have one game that's intriguing, and we can mention it. If not, no big deal. But the 3 bets I have for tomorrow are all locked in. One of them is actually pending because I'm trying to get a better line. But I do have Utah money line. That one, I've had that locked in for like almost 2 weeks now. Minus 135 at Florida. So this is a line flip game. Florida opened as a very short favorite. Now Utah's all the way up to -3. I don't think you'll find minus 135. Usually -3 denotes minus 150. So if you find anything better than minus 150 on the money line, I would bet Utah still. This is all about Cameron Rising and this Utah offense, which was a top 10 unit last year after he took over. They returned 5 of 6 pass catchers against the Florida defense that is not a typical SEC defense. They're a little bit undermanned. And their new head coach, Billy Napier, is an offensive head coach. I think it's going to take a little time for that system to gel. And they've got Anthony Richardson at quarterback, who has all the talent in the world, but he's a little bit volatile and inaccurate. And in a Billy Napier system, I don't know how it's going to take some time. Now, the talent's there with Florida, but I think it's going to take some time for that scheme to come together. And Utah, while they lose Devin Lloyd at linebacker, they gain Muhammad Diabate, Florida transfer, ironically enough. So they're going to have some, cursory knowledge of this Gators defense. They also get back the Pac-12 freshman of the year, Junior Tafuna, the tackle. I think Clark Phillips has a chance to be the best corner in the Pac-12. So I like this Utah team a lot. We're on their win total over. I think they get started with a win in the Swamp tomorrow. I'm also going back to this very popular trend we bet last year. I bet it for a couple years now. Alabama in the first half is just a play on. 21-7 against the spread in the first half for Alabama in the last 2 seasons. That's a 75% hit rate. I found 27.5 tomorrow against Utah State. That's an important number. I'm seeing 28s out there in the market. Obviously, you want to get under that 4-touchdown number of 27.5, so shop around. I believe it was WinBet or Caesars that I found this at. I forget one or the other, but there are 27.5s in the marketplace against Utah State tomorrow. Love that spot. And then this is my dog of the day, the upset city pick. Some folks don't even have this line out yet because it's an FCS team, and usually they don't release the FCS lines until late Friday night, early Saturday morning. So refresh your Twitter apps and your sportsbook apps for this. South Dakota State at Iowa tomorrow. This is a massive look-ahead spot for Iowa. Next week, they play Iowa State, which is the biggest game of the year, the Cy-Hawk Trophy, and they will be jacked up for that game. I don't know if they're going to be as up for South Dakota State as they should be, and they need to be, because South Dakota State is one of the best teams, if not the best team in the FCS. They're getting their starting quarterback, Mark Gronowski, back. Remember, the FCS teams played last spring and last fall. So they've had this weird schedule where they've had a lot of games under their belt over the last year. And I'm telling you, this Jacks team is physical. up front. They're not going to let Iowa just run all over them. Iowa's lost some big-time pieces, especially on offense. Mike Goodson goes to the NFL. Tyler Linderbaum, their starting center, he goes to the NFL. I don't think this is going to be your classic Iowa beefy offensive line, just run it over you. There's some transition there up front. And South Dakota State's catching 18.5. I think they can win this game outright. I would sprinkle the money line on the Jacks, but I would absolutely take the 18.5. I think Iowa's defense, which has been very turnover dependent over the last couple of years, I think we get a little bit of regression there. If South Dakota State can avoid the key killer turnover, they got a chance to be in this game. So I'm taking 18 and a hook with the Jackrabbits of South Dakota State. They're the 3 picks. Utah money line, Alabama first half, South Dakota State plus 18.5. My Saturday college football card.
SDSU, baby. Dog of the day. Woo.
Let's go.
Let's go. You love to see it. Okay. I do have a college football pick. I'm waiting again. It's my play of the day. We're going to wait for a little bit on that. Before we get into Premier Lacrosse League, let's talk a little MLB action because those Yerfies and Nerfies are heating up. Obviously, the Nerfie has been red hot since basically July 1st. But in August, I think it's up, what, Jared, like 30-ish units if you've bet all Nerfies in the month of August.
Summer.
All summer. If you bet Yerfies yesterday, you were feeling pretty good because the Yerfies went 5-3 yesterday. I actually have a Nerfie today, and you have a Nerfie and a Yerfie. So why don't you go first, go through your card, and then I'll hit you with my no run first inning.
So we actually are in simpatico. Your Nerfie is my play of the day. That's how much you and I are mind-brain meld. So fantastic job scanning the board by you this morning because the one you
Thank you. You too, Jared. Wow. Thank you.
Fantastic. You're like Dora the Explorer scanning the board. Okay, I could see you being like you're like Dora the Explorer. I could see that with your knapsack and your fanny pack and
Thank you.
Just exploring the world.
I need to touch up on my Spanish if I'm going to be Dora, but you know what? That's okay.
Okay, that's fair.
I digress.
All right, so I'll start with the Yerfie because honestly, I'm only gonna say this is gonna be the shortest handicap in the history of Pickswise. Here you go. Ready? Red Sox, Rangers, Nerfie. 2 words. Dallas Keuchel. That's it. That's the handicap. Moving on. I mean, I'm not even joking. There's a column. I think it's Ricky Diamond posted the column this morning. Yerfie Nerfie bets. He's got more information about this one. He's in simpatico with me. It might be Schmelter too. I forget who posted it this morning, but someone posted a Yerfie Nerfie column, and Red Sox Rangers is in there. Plenty more information, more so than just the 2 words. But Dallas Keuchel really is the crux of the handicap. He's back, by the way, for the Rangers. Thank God. All right, Phillies, Giants, Nerfie. I laid 20 cents at South Point. Kyle Gibson, Alex Cobb, 39-7 Nerfie record this year. Gibson 9-1 on the road, Cobb 11-1 at home. Both guys solid numbers in limited plate appearances against the opposing lineup. Lineups are both well below average. Phillies are 21% on the road, Giants 21% at home. San Francisco, not a San Francisco treat. They're out there in AT&T Park. 21% scoring rate at home this year. Yikes. Philly, they've scored in actually 4 of their last 6 games. So you want to say regression? Sure, their offense is heating up. But the Giants are scoreless in 7 straight. Gibson against this Giants lineup is a plus matchup. I think Cobb against the Phillies lineup is an average matchup, and we're only laying 20 cents. So I feel like we're getting a fair price there. So those are the 2 ones I'll give you now. And then the one you're giving out right now as well is one I really like. Full send, endorse, retweet. So lay it on me, girl.
It really is. It really is going to be a great game. Well, great-ish game. At least great first inning.
Great game for the Nerfie.
I'm looking at the A's. The A's taking on the Orioles. Nerfie at -115. It should be closer to like -200. We're getting a really, really good price on this. The A's have J.P. Sears on the mound. It's his 9th start of the year. And he's been perfect in the first inning so far this season. He only has 1 road start, 7 home starts, hasn't allowed a run in the first inning. Knock on wood. Don't have any of that around me right now, but you know what? We're hoping that continues for him. Then you look at the Orioles. They're putting Dean Kremer. Kremer? Is that how you say that?
Kramer. You put creamer in your coffee, but Dean Kramer is starting for the Orioles. You put a lot of Kramer in your coffee
Kramer
today.
Is on the mound.
Flavored Kramer? You a caramel or vanilla? Hazelnut?
I'm a vanilla almond milk kind of a gal.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yep. But Kramer, not Creamer, has a 3.24 ERA on the season. He's held opponents scoreless in six of his 7 starts this season at Camden Yards, and also in 11 of his 15 starts this season. Now, neither team has been great at scoring in the first inning. The A's have only scored in 29% of first innings on the road and 25% of first innings overall. Then you look at the Orioles, only scored in 21% of first innings at home and 20% of first innings overall. They've been held scoreless in 7 of their last 10 first innings. So literally all of the information that I have is like, take the Nerfy. And honestly, getting a price at only laying 15 cents for it, it should be like minus 200. So minus 115, great price. I got that on FanDuel. Make sure to check that out. The A's, Orioles, no runs, first inning. You love to see it. These Nerfies and Yerfies have been hitting at a pretty good rate, especially for us, Jared. And then also, you just look at MLB. I know that people have been asking about your walk props. Please tell us why you're not giving a walk this way parlay every day, because I know you've been getting a lot of tweets, you've been getting a lot of messages in the chat about it. People love your walk props.
I know. I'm sorry, guys. Listen, there's just not enough time in the day. It's just I'm at that point where I'm reached. Have you ever taken a sponge and you've put it in like the water and it gets to the point where it's like the sponge is so heavy, like you have to wring it out? I'm at that heavy. Like there's just a lot going on right now. There's a I'm like Tom Brady. I'm 45. There's a lot of shit going on right now, right? No, it's just time. We're at that convergence point between football and baseball where the time it takes to prep baseball properly. And when I say properly, I mean the walk props don't offer value unless I look at every single starting pitcher and find the ones that are the highest on my sheet, on my list. And that takes time. It just takes time. And, you know, I'd rather bet football, frankly. It's a much more enjoyable sport to watch. So that's where I'm at right now with walk props. I'll do the Nerfy sheet for the rest of the year because the Nerfy's been very popular and it's a much more enjoyable handicap. And the sheet that I put out every day, I know people rely on it and they like it, but there has to be compromise. There's only so much time in the day. So I am definitely scaling down with Major League Baseball and scaling up with college football and NFL. And then, I mean, we haven't gotten NFL.
I'm excited.
Like, that's the thing about it. Like, we haven't even gotten to NFL. We're still in college football mode. Like, we're about to do college football and NFL in the same week, next week. And then it's just completely the reservation.
We got a lot going on, baby. I'm so excited
a lot of shit
about
going
it.
On here.
So we gave you two Nerfies and a Yerfie heading into today. I know we're going to talk Premier Lacrosse League in a second, which I'm really excited about because their playoffs, Jared, start tomorrow. All 3 games are going to be on ESPN Plus. We have the Chaos taking on the Chrome at noon Eastern time. Then the Redwoods taking on the Archers at 2:30 Eastern time. And then we have the Water Dogs taking on the Atlas at 5:10 Eastern time. And I know Pickswise.com has all the write-ups for you on all of the games, plus the best bets. We have Dan Arestia. He has his player prop article every single week. I am so excited about PLL coming to ESPN Plus this weekend. I know we're bringing in Mikey Overs in a second. Is Mikey Overs ready to go? Because if not, we can talk about NBA for a second too. Because there's a lot
can I
going
give you
on there.
I'll give you a quick Donovan Mitchell rant. Because I was
first of all, for those that don't know, and if you don't know, you're
Set
living
it up
under a
for me.
rock. Donovan Mitchell officially traded to the Cleveland Cavaliers yesterday. The news was first reported by Woj. Huge Woj bomb. And it's in exchange for a package centered around draft picks, young players. So the Jazz acquired 3 unprotected first-round picks, plus 2 pick swaps in the deal. They also have Kansas star Ochai Agbaji. Colin Sexton's also going to Utah, and then Lauri Markkanen. So some really good players. It's going to be good for Ochai Agbaji because he's going to get a lot of playing time. He's not necessarily going to be in the G League as much this season. So it's good for him, for his development. But how good are the Cavs going to be? Because right now their win total, I think, is set at like 46.5. Smash that over at this point.
Smash the over. I think you would probably have better context on where Cleveland fits into the grand scheme of the Eastern Conference because of your
They're
fantastic
good,
work with
really
Len
good.
this year.
And now they added
Um,
Donovan Mitchell. They're going to be really, really good.
I can't argue with that. I think the biggest takeaway for me last night, and it's obviously me looking at this through Knicks colored glasses, I actually think the Knicks dodged a bullet based off of the trade offer I saw them give Utah, which was Donovan Mitchell for Toppin, Robinson, Barrett, and those 3 first-round picks. Now, say what you want about Cleveland this year. I think they're in one of those weird spots where they know they're not going to be bad enough to be a lottery team, but I don't think they're going to be good as constructed before they made the Donovan Mitchell trade. I think they knew they weren't good enough to get to that next step of the East, but they weren't bad enough to be a lottery team. They were kind of caught in the middle because they had a great year last season, and I think there was promise there. But I think they knew that we're kind of in no man's land here because we're not a top 4, top 5 team in the East as constructed, and they're not a lottery team. So what are they? Well, now with Donovan Mitchell, you can make a better case that they're in that top 5, and they kind of went for it. They kind of shoved all their chips into the middle. And I actually applaud the Knicks, even though I think it was more Cleveland's offer that put Utah over the top here. I'm glad that that this trade didn't happen for the Knicks because I think it would have continued to slow the development of a team that it's already like basically really, really slow, like incremental development over the years. So
that's a nice way to
maybe I
say it.
put my Knicks hat back on. What do you think? What do you think?
Yeah, honestly, all I have to say about that is the Cavs are going to be really good this season. They were already really good, and they got that much better. And their win total is set at just over 500 right now. Smash that. It's 5. Their win total right now is set at 5.5 games over 500. Are you kidding me? This is going to be a 53, 54 win team. I know the Eastern Conference is really, really good. It's tough. They hit this number last season easily. They're going to be able to do it again with the addition of Donovan Mitchell. So get that number before it's skyrockets higher. That's all I have to say about that. But they got that much better. It's going to be interesting to see what's going on in Cleveland this season. So we'll see how the Eastern Conference plays out. I'm so excited for Hawk season to start so soon. Trey, DeJounte, one of the best backcourts in the country, in my opinion. But
in the country,
there. I'll digress.
Does that not count the Raptors? I guess the Raptors don't count in that because they're not in the country. Count. They don't count.
Well, I guess,
all right, let me do this.
I guess
quick.
In the NBA, fine. In the NBA. Okay, that's enough.
Let me hop into PLL really quick.
Yeah, that's enough. I said that's enough NBA talk because we have PLL, we have football, but let's get into the Premier Lacrosse League. Bring in Mikey Overs to chat PLL. We have 3 games going on tomorrow on ESPN Plus. It is the playoffs for the PLL. Mikey, how are you doing? Happy Friday.
Good. How are you guys doing?
Good. Thank you. Excellent. Jared, go for it.
Yeah, we got a lot going on, Mikey, and this is why we're bringing you on today. PLL quarterfinals, all 3 games on the plus. I know you've got picks for, I think, all 3. Chaos, Chrome,
if there's games, we're getting picked.
If there's games, you're betting it. That's the way it is, huh? Woods Archers, 2:30 Eastern. Water Dogs Atlas, 5:10 Eastern. Of course, Pickswise.com has a ton of content as well. Dan Aresti has a player props article. But let's get into where you're vibing for this noon Eastern game. Chaos Chrome laying it with the Chrome here, -1.5.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Chrome -1.5. I think the Chrome have been, one of the stronger teams this year in the PLL. They had a real slow start, but they've kind of emerged as, I think, a team that's going to make some noise in the playoffs. And this Chaos team really hasn't impressed me. And I think now you're coming into the playoffs. I mean, that's another gear for a lot of these teams. And I just think the disparity between the Chrome and the Chaos, I'll take that -1.5.
And then you're looking at the Archers Redwoods. You like the total in this one going over. We're hoping for a lot of goals to be scored.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. This was just kind of like I always want to take one over on the board. And this over kind of felt like the safest to me. That Atlas game versus the Water Dogs, I don't know if I really wanted to touch that over. And the Archers have an offense that just eats, breathes, and sleeps goals. So I took that over for sure.
I like it. Last one, Water Dogs Atlas, 5:10 Eastern on the plus. Atlas money line to play for you here. Tell me why.
Yeah, I mean, I did the pick 'em, and I chose the Atlas.
Okay.
I also have a future on them to win. So, I mean, if I didn't take the Atlas, I'd feel like a fraud. So this is just kind of, I got to buckle down with the boys and take them every single game here.
Buckle down with the
Yeah.
boys. Love
Buckle down with the boys, baby. Let's go. For people that don't watch much PLL, that we're getting them into it because it is the playoffs, what do people want to look out for in terms of just betting props, betting totals, betting aside? Like, how do you kind of go about how you place your bets for the PLL?
Yeah, I would say don't be scared of the plus 1.5. That if you're betting, even if it's regular season PLL, when I started out betting it this year, I was so scared of that plus 1.5 because, growing up playing lacrosse, you're always like, not a lot of games are decided by one goal. But when you get to the PLL, I wouldn't be scared of that plus 1.5. And, the overs are the most fun, root for some goals.
Absolutely love it.
Your name is Mikey O'ver, so I would feel like that is a fitting way to bet for you.
Yeah, no, I mean, I couldn't come on here and be like, listen, the under's a great time.
Yeah, right.
The under always hits. No, I couldn't. It's got to be the over.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, honestly,
that's why we love it.
Just wouldn't work. It just wouldn't work.
No,
you know what I mean?
Not on brand.
I don't know. Yeah.
No, yeah, I mean, we root for human achievement over here. The over is the human achievement. I don't want to root for them to have a bad game,
Honestly, and then we talk about the unders. Like Jared says, the under sweats are worse than the meat sweats. I've never had 100%. Meat sweats in my life, so I cannot speak to that lucky. On myself. But yeah.
I had the pizza sweats last night, just eating a slice of pizza. Like I sweat when I eat, even when it's like normal food, meat or
pizza sweats. That sounds like another level of sweating with food.
Well, it's 110 degrees here in Vegas, so it's pretty.
You might just be sweating. That just might be sweat. I don't know if that had anything to do with the pizza.
Just probably true.
You might want to go get that checked out. Just say.
Yeah, no, but the thing I say about the over is it's never dead. It's never dead.
It's never dead. It's never dead.
The under can die. Think about that. The under can die.
The under, I'm always waiting for the under to, like the under, it's like you're looking up and you're looking at an anvil and you're just waiting for it to drop. Whereas the over, you're right. You're always one play away from everything changing.
Perfect example last night in the West Virginia game in college football. That over looked dead until literally the fourth quarter. And then we were getting after it. Getting some points on the board.
That was a fun
game. I loved
game,
watching my reject USC quarterbacks going head to head. You love to see it. Mikey, we so appreciate you. Thank you for coming on, pumping the PLL. Looking forward to those games tomorrow. Take all the overs, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. I'm down. Appreciate you for having me.
Great job, bud.
Thanks so much. Have a good weekend. That was Mikey O'ver, PLL. Again, there's 3 playoff games going on tomorrow. The Chaos taking on the Chrome at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. The Redbirds taking on the Archers at 2:30 Eastern Time. And the Water Dogs taking on the Atlas at 5:10 Eastern Time. Again, Pickswise.com. Check out the write-ups for all of the games, plus the best bets. Dan Arestia has all of the player props on his article, so make sure to check all of that out. Mikey O'ver's hitting us with that PLL knowledge. Okay, I know we're going to get into the NFL. We're going to bring in Sam Monson in a second to chat about his expectations for the season. But guess what? Game 1, week 1, we got Bills taking on the Rams. Coming out with a bang, am I right? Or am I right?
So I was just thinking about this last night because I dropped my final preseason column on Pickswise for the NFL futures market earlier this week. Please go check it out. It does have some important information about how I'm handling a very certain position on my favorite New York Jets. But I was thinking about where, the time of the week that it was, Thursday night, late. And I was like, wow, in 1 week from right now, we will be bloviating, overreacting to
what does that word mean? Bloviating?
Bloviate? It's like when you talk talk at length in an inflated way. I just looked it up, the dictionary online right now. Bloviate. Go. It's a great word. I dare you to use the word bloviate in one of your Atlanta Braves, Atlanta Hawks segments coming up soon. You can use it.
Okay.
Because I guarantee you, Mr. Rathbun bloviates very often about the Hawks.
Bet. I'll squeeze that in there, and people are going to be like, what the hell did this girl just say?
No, they're going to think
and
you're
I'll
really
be like,
smart.
To be honest with you, I don't even know what I just said.
They're going to think you're really smart because you used an advanced word like bloviate. I bloviate every day. I bloviate all my calls in the morning. But when we hop on at 9:30, 9:45, and you guys are like,
it sounds like a dirty word. I hate it, actually.
It's not. Bloviate.
I hate everything about it.
It's a tremendous word. I dare you to
I know,
use
honestly.
it on
and you said people are going to think that you're smart. I'm like, honestly, as long as they think that I'm smart, you know what I mean? You don't have to know what you're doing. You just have to act like you know what you're doing.
Oh, stop it. No, all right.
You don't got to know what you're doing, baby. You just got to act like you know what you're doing. It's like being a leader. You don't necessarily need to know the destination. You just got to get some people to follow you. You know what I mean? Speaking of following, I'm about to follow Monson's picks. I'm about to follow Sam Monson's picks when it comes to the NFL because it is 1 week away, actually less than a week away at this point because game one of week one is going to be Thursday night. Let's bring in Sam Monson to chat about his expectations for some of these teams heading this season. Sam, how the heck are you? Week one, right around the corner. He's a Pro Football Focus analyst. Happy Friday. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Sam, you know what bloviate means, right? You've heard that word before. No. You're a smart guy.
Thank you. I'm there. I'm with you.
We're going to bloviate about the NFL right now.
He said that word, and I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? It is Friday. This is the day I'm supposed to, let my brain, go to mush and just watch sports today and tomorrow. No. But today we're going to bloviate because we got a lot of NFL action to talk about. First of all, let's start it out with game one, week one next week, Thursday night. They're hitting us with a bang. The Bills taking on the Rams. What are your thoughts about this game and starting off the season on a high note?
Yeah, starting with a really good one. Obviously, these are two teams that should be in Super Bowl contention by the end of the season, could legitimately be a Super Bowl preview right at the very first game. I think the Bills have legitimately got the best roster in the NFL, top to bottom. They've been talked about all offseason in that kind of regard, and I think people are right. It is how good this team is, in addition to having Josh Allen, one of the best quarterbacks in the league. They're very well coached as well. We kind of skated over them early in the offseason because of how last season ended. Those 13 seconds where they weren't able to hold on against Kansas City and therefore didn't make the AFC title game, didn't make the Super Bowl, but they were arguably the best team in the AFC last season, and they got better. They added Von Miller. They added weapons to that team. So I'm really excited to see how good Buffalo looks right away. Obviously, they're dealing with an injury or two. And then the Rams, they're battling the perennial Super Bowl hangover deal. Can they come back? Can they buck the trend? And can they keep going with this sort of stars and scrubs approach that they've had to roster construction over the last few years? It's such a fun game to see as the first one we're going to get to watch.
Sam, when you look at this Bills team and you look at Brian Daboll obviously moving locations and the offense, that's I don't know if it's going to be different or constructed in a different way. But how do you grade the switch at offensive coordinator when you lose Brian Daboll? What impact do you think that's going to have on Josh Allen and this offense this year? Because right now the Bills are still the favorite to win the Super Bowl, but there are a lot of unknowns there with what this offense might look like without Daboll at the helm.
Yeah, it's a significant loss. Anytime you're losing an offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator, a main coordinating coach, it's a major risk to what you've got going. Now, the good news for Buffalo is they kind of stayed in-house with the replacements, promoted from within. In theory, there's a continuity going there. And there's also the great unknown of none of us really knows what was primarily responsible behind Josh Allen going from, one of the worst quarterbacks in the league as a rookie to this unstoppable force that he is right now. Was that all just Josh Allen's sheer force of personality? Was that working with Jordan Palmer in the offseason as a sort of personal quarterback coach? Was it Brian Daboll? Was it a mix of all of it? Was it the supporting cast? We don't really know. Yeah. But now we're going to get at least an idea how much of it was Brian Daboll and whether they're able to replace that. So I think it's definitely a risk but I think they've done a good job of like mitigating the damage that could cause. Josh Allen on his own does a good job of mitigating that, but also the way that they've promoted from within, it should mean that it's not too big of a blow to this offense.
Yeah, I'm really high on the Buffalo Bills this season, and honestly, that's my favorite futures play that I'm on. Is I parlayed the Bills to win their division and the Bucks to win their division, and you get it plus money, plus 103. So that's my best futures bet. What about you? Your favorite NFL futures play heading into this season?
I've been riding the Philadelphia Eagles wagon for a while, and the betting is coming in your direction if you were on that early. I think they've drawn level now with Dallas as the favorite for that division. I think they're going to end up, ahead of Dallas as the favorite the closer we get. And the Eagles have just had what's almost a perfect offseason. And it's not just perfect in terms of they've added players, they've added areas of getting better, but they've done it sort of every step of the way in every possible avenue. And it's been so impressive to watch. They hit, a pretty big money free agent in Hassan Reddick. They parlayed a draft pick into a superstar like A.J. Brown. They used a couple more picks on guys that should have immediate impacts in Jordan Davis. I think Nakobe Dean, a linebacker, is going to end up starting for them sooner rather than later and being a good upgrade player there. Cam Jurgens, their second-round pick, probably won't play right away, but he's a phenomenal contingency now if Jason Kelce goes down injured. And then they kept going. James Bradbury was a sort of salary cap casualty that they were able to pick up because they had the cap space. And then cut down day, they come back again and grab a guy like Chauncey Gardner-Johnson to come in and upgrade at safety. So the Eagles have just done such a great job building this team. And if Jalen Hurts takes any kind of step forward this year, I think they're definitely the favorites for that division. I think they honestly have propelled themselves into being, a real Super Bowl contending kind of team.
Wow.
Yeah.
That would be, I know I have a lot of friends in Philly that would be very happy to hear you say that. Because and then, Lauren, you got to deal with them week 1 against the Lions. Speaking of week 1, other than this
my
Bills,
Lions are getting crushed, Jared. That's too soon.
I know.
Let me chat about that next week, okay? I still got Michigan tomorrow.
We can blab about that one next week. What are you looking at for week 1, Sam? Anything locked on your card yet, or you're still waiting until next week to see how things shift a little bit?
Yeah, I think there's a few early ones that make some sense. I think Washington are probably a little bit underrated. Nobody likes Carson Wentz as a starting option. It's not exciting. You know what I mean? So the narrative on Washington is kind of probably lower than it should be. I mean, the bottom line is Wentz is a huge upgrade over Taylor Heineke last season. And it might not 100%. Be what you want to see as your future starting quarterback, but it should make that team significantly better. And I think the weapons that they've added on offense as well have made them better. So it might go off the rails the longer into the season we get. But week 1, I think Washington will probably be quite a lot better than the Jacksonville team that they're playing. The Raiders, I think, are probably undervalued as well. We tend to forget because of what the Chargers did in the offseason. The Raiders made some pretty big moves themselves. They added the best wide receiver in the NFL. They added one of the best pass rushers of the last decade to this team. And, the offensive line is a pretty big concern, and the Alex Leatherwood thing didn't help that. But it's not like that's new. That was a big concern last year, and they still made the playoffs. They still beat the Chargers in that final game of the season to get in. So I think we're probably overselling the gap between these two teams right now.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited for week 1 heading into next week. The Eagles, I know Jared's extremely high on the Eagles heading into the season.
Yeah.
I'm unfortunately from Detroit, and we haven't won a division title since 1993, but who's counting? Not me. It's okay, though. Maybe this is the year. Not.
No, it's
not.
But
I do like the direction that the Lions are heading. With Dan Campbell, I like the direction that they're heading. The dude is doing up downs with his players. They're going to be good. They're going to be good. I don't think they're going to be better than the Vikings. I don't think they're going to be better than the Packers, but I think that they maybe could flirt with.
Are they going to be better than the Bears?
Sam, how do we feel? Do you think they can flirt with the 500 record this season?
The up downs is the really important thing. If it wasn't for those, we would be concerned. But now with the up downs, there's definitely reason to buy in.
That's why they're going to win.
I think
those up downs.
I think the Lions.
Players are. Why
they're
can't
definitely
we?
Moving in the right direction. They absolutely are moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
The problem is, I think there's too many unknowns still. If the players that they've added over the last couple of years, the young, if they pan out, if Jeffrey Okuda gets back on track, if the defensive linemen, all show up and they've made the right decisions there, then I think they can move quickly in the right direction. But the chances are some of those things won't happen, and then they'll kind of split the difference. I think they will be the third best team in the division, and they'll flirt with a 500 record.
Yes, let's go.
LJ
Take the over Lions win total, baby. Take the over Lions win total. That's all I got to say. I'm locking it in, right? Well, I already locked it in, but you know what?
Of course.
It's okay. Sam, we so appreciate you. We so appreciate your insight. Thanks so much for coming on and giving us some of your best bets heading into week 1. Best of luck and enjoy this weekend with college football, and enjoy the game on Thursday next week.
Anytime, guys. Take it easy.
Great job.
Thanks so much. That was Sam Monson, Pro Football Focused Analyst. That's going to be so exciting with week 1 next week. For NFL, week 1 this week for college football. Before we get into our best bets of the day, because one of mine is a college football pick from tonight, let's go to Pickswise.com. Jared, who do we have for the 3-star play of the day?
Shout out Mark Lammy, by the way. I was 0 for 2 when I was giving out the names for who wrote the Yerfy Nerfy column on Pickswise.com today. First, I thought it was Ricky Diamond. Then I thought it was Keith Schmelter. I was wrong on both. 0 for 2, but we're right on this one. It's Mark Lammy, and we already gave out both picks on the show. We're about to give out the next one, and we've already given out one. So that is well represented. Keith Schmelter, though, does have 2 3-star plays. No, maybe just one. I see one on the site. I thought I saw a second one, but maybe he downgraded.
Yeah.
Regardless, Keith Schmelter's got some action tonight. Check it out. Rangers-Red Sox game. You're going to like it because it fits into where this Yerfy Nerfy vibe is. Kyle Lupus has something for the Twins White Sox. We've got San Diego State, Arizona on the site for tomorrow. Stephen Hall, college football. We got Brentford, Leeds United, EPL. Tons of action. Zeno's got 2 3-star plays for college football tomorrow as well, but you'll hear plenty from him on tomorrow's LBI. So we are back. I mean, again, this is the moment, the time of the year where you capture all of that sports equinox vibes. Baseball, college football, NFL, we'll have hockey, NBA soon. So exciting times.
My mind can't even keep it straight. I'm like, what is going on? We have so much going on, including a Michigan State game tonight from my hometown. And I usually don't root for Michigan State. Tonight, I'm not necessarily rooting for them as a team, but I am rooting for their quarterback, and Peyton Thorne. His total passing yards right now is set tonight at 259.5. I really like the over for this number. I think he's going to have a big game in the opener, and I think he's especially motivated because guess what? His dad, Jeff Thorne, the offensive coordinator for the Western Michigan Broncos.
Oh, wow.
So he's going to want to show up and show out.
He's love that angle.
Up and show out against his dad, who's going to be coaching on the other side. Western Michigan is also replacing all but one starter in its secondary, which opens up the field for a guy like Thorne and his receivers to attack. And then you look at a guy like Jaden Reed, who's a senior on MSU, was a former Bronco, probably pumped up to play against some of his former teammates. Michigan State has quite a few options on the outside who are ready to go. And also, I feel like their running game is not necessarily going to be the same as it was last year, at least to start the season, because you lose Kenneth Walker III, which in the first game of the season last year, I think he had like a 73-yard run for a touchdown. That's not going to happen this year. They have some good running veterans, but a lot of them are returning from injury. They might start slow. I think they're going to rely a lot more heavily, Michigan State is, on their passing game, at least in game 1, and at least in the beginning of game 1. The only way this number doesn't hit is if Thorne gets pulled early in the fourth quarter, if Michigan State has too big of a lead. But at this point, I feel pretty good about it. He's going up against his dad on the other side of the field. 259.5 seems decently low for the first game of the season against a Broncos team who is replacing most of their starters in their secondary. So I could see them using the pass game a lot, being able to attack, and Peyton Thorne hitting that over 259.5 passing yards. I feel good about it. Got it at -112. FanDuel, I know they had it locked this morning. I actually locked it in last night. They'll probably open it back up again. But yeah, look for that Peyton Thorne over. That's my best bet of the day. And you're going for the Nerfy that I talked about a little bit earlier.
Yeah, and I'll make – first of all, do you think – this is a quick question. Do you think that because Thorne's dad's the coach on the other side that they're going to have like inside info about how he, goes
I don't
about
know.
his business?
But
I don't know.
His dad.
That's a fascinating matchup.
Yeah, his dad is the offensive coordinator. I think that he'll obviously know his son's like skill set, right?
Yeah,
But again, it's everything you can see from watching film too. So I
that's
guess
true.
he'll maybe know a little bit more in terms of like, oh, he's really bad when this happens. He's really good when this happens. But yeah, his dad is the offensive coordinator for Western Michigan, so he's going to be in the other booth on the other side. I don't know. Do you root for your son in that case, or do you root for your own
No.
team that you're coaching? I don't know.
Yeah. You root for your own team.
What? I don't know. It's your
Pays
son.
the bills, right? Well, if you had a son or daughter, who would you root for? Would you root for what pays your bills, or would you root for your son to have a good game?
Probably what pays my bills.
Get out of here, little Timmy. Mama's needs a new pair of shoes.
I'm heartless.
Timmy, screw you, Timmy. Mama needs, I don't know.
Hey,
what do you like? A new TV or something? I don't know.
Today.
Yeah, I know. You suck today, Timmy. Send them like a hate, like, you know, when your mom used to put like your parents used to put like notes in your lunch, like send like a screw you, throw 4 picks in your lunchbox.
Seriously.
All right. Another thing too, I love the college football player prop options that are becoming more plentiful, it seems, by the week.
Yes.
It used to be player props were only released for the top teams in the top games. Now it seems like every game has college football player props, which is awesome.
Yeah.
We love more things to bet
Love
on.
it.
All right. Speaking of more things to bet on, Oakland, Baltimore. LJ already gave you a very good handicap here. We're going Sears. Get in the car, kids. Gonna go buy a new blender. JP Sears, 6-0 to the Nerfy this year since he was traded from the Yanks to the A's. He clearly has some familiarity with this Orioles lineup, pitching in the American League. He's not for a long time, but for a brief period of time. Just 23 plate appearances against this O's lineup, 200 batting average against 244 WOA. But Dean Kramer, not Creamer, Dean Kramer, 22-10 to the Nerfy first 3 years, but 13-3 at home, which is pretty good. Put some of that vanilla creamer in your coffee, LJ. He's never faced the A's lineup before, and these lineups are not good. Both are below average. The Orioles have scored 1 time in the first inning in their last 6. Oakland just twice in their last 10 games. That's about a 20% hit rate, and that's a very below average hit rate for scoring in the first. Again, that's a very small sample size, but if you look at the wide sample size of the entire season, both of these offenses are on the shit list. So I'll lay 15 cents. I think Boyd and BetMGM both had these for the Nerfy of the day. Oakland, Baltimore at Camden Yards. Please go bet it. I need a win, too. I've lost every play of the day this week, which is not indicative of how good of a gambling week I've had. But I'm 0-4 with play of the days this week. Can we get one across the finish line, for crying out loud? Jeez.
Just one. That's all we're asking for. Just one.
Gosh.
Before we rev it up into the weekend. Okay, best bets of the day, the A's, O's, Nerfy for Jared, and Peyton Thorne over 259.5 passing yards for me. Week 1 college football tomorrow. Jared is going to be talking on Fox Sports. I'll be here on Pickswise with Mark Zinno talking all of the college football games tomorrow morning, so make sure to tune in. It's going to be a CFB heavy show. We cannot wait to see you there. That's it for us today. Find us on the Pickswise YouTube channel. Go to pickswise.com. Follow us on Twitter. Jared Smith, good luck with your new show tomorrow, Jared. Lauren Javara, we'll see you all tomorrow. Let's get it. Let's bet it.